Incredible greetings. Hello, hello, hello. How y'all feeling on this good old Sunday? I wouldn't say afternoon because I'm supposed to be on the afternoon, but on this good old Sunday evening. How y'all doing? Alrighty. So, all right, it muted. There we go. So I said I wanted to make a dedicated video for this particular topic, which is very, very like basic. It's for beginners. It's going to be essential for anyone that wants to put together their own designs for tumblers or really just anything. But I'm going to use tumblers as an example for this because of a question that came up in a group that I'm in. And then I had to think to myself, do I have a video that is just on that? Right. So and I was like, I don't think I do. Let's do one today. No time like the present, right? So I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365. We are home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. We are also the home of Silaholics Anonymous, where I've been teaching you how to design and how to set things up like this in Silhouette Studio for the past 9 years, and also 365 Creative Academy, where we take that learning to the next level and we do hands-on classes where you can be in the room, ask questions, engage. It's an amazing time if you are able to ever join any of our live sessions. So with this particular training that we're going to do, it's going to be really, really simple. And sometimes we're especially when we're learning new things, it can be really, really exciting. We're seeing all of these amazing and wonderful designs that we might skip over, kind of like it's like this the basic things, right? So I don't want to say simple. It's like the basic things. Like we're not even thinking about those because our minds, our creativity is so far off, it's so far ahead. It's like some of the basics and the foundational things when we run into situations like we want to design. And what prompted this was a question. It was like, I want to, I need to know placement. I want to take the same image and I basically want it to be like on the front and back of a tumbler. So I want them to be basically back to back. How do I go about putting that together? How do I know exactly where to place it? And I was like, man, I know for me, I kind of overlook it. I do have templates, but it's just the way I operate. I said the average, creator may not think about those things. So guess what? Let's go ahead and do a video. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that in a few programs. For me, I'm a silhouette girl. I think there's nothing, especially on this level, that you cannot do in Silhouette Studio. It's absolutely amazing. And then we're going to do Canva because a lot of people are using Canva. I discovered this weekend that I could never, ever, 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 ever rely completely on Canva. I was actually doing some things that needs to be multiple pages. So it would have been technically the easier way to do it because Silhouette Studio is like one page at a time on the screen. But the way that it was set up, it was like, oh man, well, not even the way it was set up. It kept crashing, like the server kept going down and it just kept spinning. So I'm like, I cannot rely on this, but I know a lot of people are using Canva. So I am going to show you how you can create this template. The process is going to be exactly the same no matter which software you're using, except maybe like Photoshop, because it is a little bit different when it comes to that. I'm not going to show how to set it up in Photoshop, but I do have an option where if you are a Photoshop user, I've already saved it as like a PNG as well as a PDF, and you can use that as a layer underneath just to know where to place things at. So I'm going to have that one. Well, it's already on the website. I probably will make the Photoshop one and just kind of save that one. But again, if you open up the PDF or the PNG one, the layer will already be there. So I'm going to show you that. All right. If you are ready, say I'm ready. Let me know in the comment section, are you someone that's watching that does tumblers? And if so, what size tumblers do you use? Hello, hello, hello. Incredible greetings. So as you guys are writing that, I'm just going to say hello to a few folk. Hello. Thank you for joining in and tapping in from Baton Rouge. Hey, just say coming in from West Virginia. Aquisha says she is ready. Karen D says she is ready. One Gorgeous says they are ready. Cassie Anderson says she is ready. All right. Awesome. Awesome. So you mainly do 20 ounces. Okay. So I have another, I'm ready. I usually make 20 ounces. Okay. 20-ounce tumblers. All right. Now, when it comes to, okay, another 20-ounce tumbler, I do tumblers. When it comes to like really any tumbler, all of the people that make them, they're going to be different sizes. I'm going to do this example based off of the tumbler that I use. I use tumblers from Johnson's Plastics Plus, right? jpplus.com. If you are, they have amazing tumblers. I love them. They're not like the flat bottoms, but I don't really like the like straight flat bottoms anyway. You can go over to their website, use the code 9PKD6, and you're going to get 15% off. I absolutely love those tumblers, right? So I've already measured mine. I know exactly what the measurement is. So I'm going to start this off so that you can follow this for whatever tumbler you have. Now, if this is something like the 40-ounce one that has kind of a taper top and you have the middle part, you have the bottom is tapered, or, you know, 30, any taper tumbler, this is not for tapered tumblers per se. You can kind of sort of figure it out if you know how to warp it and all that stuff. I teach how to do your taper tumblers in my sublimation crash course, but for this one, we're going to focus on skinny. So anything that's straight up and down, you can apply these same principles to, whether it's for a mug, if it's for a 20 ounce, a 30 ounce, a 12, a 16, the glass ones, the frosted ones, as long as it's, you know, you're going to kind of put it on straight, you can get those measurements and you can use the same processes. The process doesn't change depending on what you're setting it up for. You just have to have the correct measurements for your particular item. Okay. Okay, so I'm ready. 20 and 30. I want to start. Okay, so you haven't started, so you have an interest in doing tumblers. Millie, you are in the perfect place. Are you new to our platform? I'm actually streaming on 2 YouTube channels right now. I'm on Silaholics Anonymous and Honestly Speaking. If you could let me know which channel you are watching from right now, that would be great. Because depending on which one you're on, I'm going to tell you like what that channel is like mainly about. Thank you guys so much for the likes over on TikTok. Yeah, you should see my screen. It should be Sezzle Be Incredible. So I don't have any program on there yet. You should just be seeing our website. Okay. Hey, LaShonda, that's my city girl. Period. All right. Let's see. I gotta go over here. I almost forgot to I got right into it and I forgot to come over to Facebook and make sure that my that it was on public. So let's go ahead and change that real quick. All right. Have you guys, so anyone that does tumblers, right? Have you measured your tumbler top to bottom and measuring around it and having that number? Nothing extra. What I need for you guys to write in the comment section. What size have you measured? Don't go by anybody else's no one else's measurements that they have given you in Facebook groups, on YouTube videos. None of that. I don't want to. Only put it in the comment section if, like, put those numbers in if you yourself have taken the tumblers that you ordered and you have measured them top to bottom, and then you've measured around it, whether it's with a fabric like the fabric tape that's loose, or if you've used a method like I've taught before where you kind of take some tape, wrap it around it, take the tape off and put that to a ruler. Or you can do the whole math problem and figuring out, your circumference as well. So which would be 2 times pi times the radius. So if you've done it, if you've gone that far, then because I like math. So if you figured it out that way, whatever it is for you to figure out the circumference, tell me what that number was as well as the height. Okay. Because that's going to be really, really, really important for this. All right, so I have a couple here. So 8 by 9.5. Whoa, who is this? Miss Q Lady. What is that for a 20-ounce tumbler? You were like at 8 inches. There's 8 inches in height and 9.5 in width. And for a 20-ounce, I don't think I've ever seen one that's a stud. Like that's kind of stubby. To me, that would be way more than 20 ounces. Wow. 9.4-ish by 8. Okay, I guess that's kind of the same range. I've never seen like one where I measure it and it's that number. Now, when I make my template, it ends up being that. But to measure around it and it's 9.4, wow. Normally, if they are a little bit wider, I find that they're shorter than 8 inches. Oh, wow. Okay. That's pretty interesting. Most times when I find that they're wider, like I said, they're normally shorter. And then if they're taller, they're not as wide. Okay, so I have a few over here. 9.3 by 8.2. Is that the size tumbler? Like that's the template you use, or that is what you measured at? And for those, there's someone else that says 8.2 by 9.3. Where do you guys get your tumblers from? I don't think I've ever had one that was those dimensions. My ones that are over 8 are normally less, like they're like closer to like 9 inches, like exactly, or like 8.75, like if they're a little bit taller. 8 by 9, okay. 8.1 by 9.2. Do y'all see, right? So what I did there and having people write what their measurements are, we're seeing that they're not all the same. And yeah, you guys aren't going to see me. It's a Sunday. I want to teach, but I'm not camera ready. So right now, you're kind of just looking at the back and forth of my screen. So hopefully you're still okay with learning, even though you just kind of see the website going back and forth. I'm just not camera ready today. It's a Sunday. I'm trying to get home to watch my Dolphins. I've never measured my tumbler. I just go by your template. Are you using the tumblers from Johnson's Plastics, or you get yours from somewhere else? Yes, every tumbler is different. 20-ounce tumbler from Hog, 8.2 by 9. Is your template size. I don't want to know your template size, guys, because your template should technically be longer and taller, like wider and taller than your actual tumbler. That's why I said when you are measuring it, you should have had a measurement of what it was when you measured that tumbler from top to bottom and when you measured it around, not your tumbler template. Okay. You got it from Amazon. I would say, I mean, I'm guessing you haven't had any issues, but I will ask this. When you're using my tumbler template and the size that I recommend, when you're looking at the amount of design that's above and below, is it a lot of design? Like, you know, if you kind of center it, is it just a sliver of a design? Is it where it's almost perfect? Because we definitely don't want it to be perfect. And we also don't want it to be where you see a lot of the design on the top and bottom. It should be very, very minimal. Incredible evening. Welcome in. Thank you so much for joining. Okay. 8.1 by 9.1. There we go. I like that. I like that. I like that. That's okay. Perfect. 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 That's what I needed to know. The exact size of the tumbler. So my rule of thumb when you're doing a tumbler is to go 0.1 wider. All right. Only 0.1 wider. So if you are saying that yours was 8.1, then your template should be 8.2, right? So it should be 8.2 going for your width, right? My rule of thumb for height is actually to go 0.15 over, because you want to be able to have that lip to make sure you have a full bleed. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me back up. The reason why I only go 0.1 on the width is The more that you take it out, like the more that you're kind of like wrapping it. And I like to where it's like right at the edge. I don't like to do too much over. If you're someone that likes to do seamless tumblers, you really, really don't want to have a lot of overlap on the width. Like, I mean, just a hair to make sure that there's a little bit of design that crosses, like that folds over or it's overlapping on the backside. So that's why I only go 0.1. For the height, because I personally like to wrap mine underneath. I know a lot of people say they don't do that. I'm seeing it in groups. Oh, no, never make it to where you're wrapping underneath. That's how you get ghosting. With my method, with the painter's tape and the heat tape, I don't get ghosting like that on the bottom. And I leave very minimal paper. Now, if you're leaving a lot of paper, yeah, that's going to be an issue. But if you watch my Tumbler template videos, I mean, not Tumbler, my 20-ounce tumbler, I'm doing them. I go step by step. I don't edit anything out. You're seeing my entire process. I have like 3 of them within the past like 3 months, probably like one every single month towards the end of the year. And I leave a little bit of paper around the bottom because I want to make sure that my tape actually touches the tumbler. So I don't like to leave a lot of paper. And that keeps me from having any ghosting. I do use an oven. If you're using a press, you need to press the ends, but that's a story for another day. So I like to go a little bit above, a little bit below, because I want it to curl. I want to be able to have my design not stop at the bottom and see white. I don't like to go too long or, make it too much over, because then you really start to lose placement. If you go and, you have a design there and you made it 0.25 bigger. Now, when you go to put it on your tumbler, you might lose some of those important details. So a little sliver above and below, and of course your overlap. So my rule of thumb, whatever you have measured, the actual tumbler that you use, whatever the circumference is, you add 0.1. Circumference, add 0.1. For the height, you're going to add 0.15. Circumference, 0.1. Height, 0.15. All right. So that's the general rule of thumb. Is a small amount design showing? Okay, so their tumblers are probably like the ones that I use. That's a great indicator too. So if you get a tumbler template from someone or you want to use someone's measurement, when you go to wrap it around your tumbler, look and see if you have a lot of overlap, like a lot of exposed design, or just a little bit. And that's going to let you know if that's an ideal wrap or like wrap size for your tumblers. If it's too much, you want to bring that down some. If it's not enough and you can't see the design when you put it on there, you need to increase it some, okay? Hey. So 8.25 by 9.25 is the height is accurate, but circumference may be off. My ruler's not pliable. Okay. I did a video. There is a video on Honestly Speaking that shows you how to measure it using tape. You're going to take that tape around it. You're going to use an X-Acto knife to cut it. That way it's like right at that, it's like butt to butt. Put that down on a ruler. And that's how you're going to get the exact size of your circumference. Okay. So if yours is 8.25 in height, you're going to go 8.4. So yours would end up being 8.4 because you're going to add 1.5. And then your width would be 9.35. That's what your measurements will be. So what I'm going to show you now, you would set yours up. I'm saying all of this. It seems like a lot, right? You're watching the playback. Oh my God, Professor, get to it. Show me what I came here for. It's important that I go through this so that you don't get caught up in the numbers that I am using. I am going to use the numbers based off of what I use. You can do the same thing, but based off the numbers of your tumblers. Understood? Hey. Thank you for jumping on. All right, so let's go over to Silhouette Studio. Actually, my thing is because it shut down. Well, I had shut it down, so I need to restart. So first things first, we're going to go to the rectangle tool on the left-hand side, and we're just going to make a random box. It does not matter. Oh, but you know what? Let me make 20 minutes. Perfect. That was almost perfect timing. So I know on my timestamp, 20 minutes in is where we're starting the actual tutorial. So you're going to make that box. You're then going to go up to the top and you're going to unlock it. Because if it's unlocked, make sure you unlock it. We're going to go with, for me, it's going to be 9.35 because mine measure 9.25 in width. All right, now come on now. 0.35. I'm going to hit tab and my height is going to be 8.15 because my tumblers measure 8 inches in height. So 8.15. Like I said, with, my best friend, hers would be 8.4 by 9.35 with the tumblers that she is using. Now, here's going to be the most important part to make sure that this grid lines up. Remember that this is actually 0.1 over. So that 0.1 is not a part of your actual spacing and sizing. None of that is going to show up on your tumbler. So I want to duplicate this. So I'm just going to go copy, and then I'm going to go paste in front. The one that I paste in front, I want to go back up to the top, and I'm going to make that what's what I'm looking for? 9.25. Okay. And then I'm going to make this 8 because that is the actual size of my tumbler. Once I have that, I'm going to select them both, go up here to the top or bring over the transform panel from the side, and I'm going to align it to the left because that is going to be the end that I cut off. All right. So we know that this part right here that we see above and below, that is bleed. None of that will end up on your tumbler. None of that will end up on your tumbler. All right. So now I'm going to take these, I'm going to fill them with color. I like filling things with color because it makes it easier. But I'm also going to take down my transparency for now because I want to see through it. We're now going to create the grid. Okay. We're going to create the grid. We're going to go back to the left-hand side and go to the line tool. Click on that. You're going to put your mouse above the box a little bit, hold down shift and make a straight line and then stop. You want a little bit above, a little bit below, so that we can actually select them afterwards because we're going to need to move them around. You're going to take that line, select everything, and you're going to go align to the left. Take that line. We're going to go up to the top. I'm going to make it a dashed line. You can change the color if you want, or you can leave it red. Now I want to open up my replicate panel. And I'm going to duplicate to the right. It's going to look like nothing happened because, again, it's just a straight line. It's actually 0 and then whatever the width, the length is. So it's going to look like nothing happened. But trust me, it's there as long as you hit that button. You're going to hold down shift and click right here in the middle. This is why we filled it with color. If there's no color there, you have to go towards the ends. We're now going to go back up to our transform and we're going to say align to the right. So you should see the 2 bars, the 2 lines. It doesn't matter which one you use. If you do this one, duplicate 3 more. Okay. So you're going to need 3 more lines. 1, 2, 3. Or if you click on the one on the left, use this one and go 1, 2, 3. All right. Once you have those, you're going to go back to the top, select all of those at the top. Do not select your boxes. You're going to come back up here to your transform panel or transform icon, or you can bring up the panel too. So whether you use the panel or you go to the top, You just want to have that open, okay? Oh, wait, let me select them again. And right here, you space horizontally. So you're going to click that. Right? So we should have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like to take the middle ones, hold down, click on one, hold down shift, click on the other one, let go of shift, and change the color on that. So I'm just going to make mine blue. And we're going to group that together. I'm also going to click on my internal one, like the one that's the actual size of my tumbler. I'm going to make that outline blue as well. Now I'm going to go to offset. I'm going to do an internal offset. This is what we call a safe zone. Anything that I want to make sure for sure it does not get cut off. If my tumbler is like, if I'm off a little bit on where I place it at, I may not want this to like right to the edge. It might be someone's picture. If you don't want it to get cut off, it might be text. It can be anything. I like to do a safe zone. It's not to say that you can't make your background go all, fill out the whole thing, but anything that you want to make sure. Maybe you put your logo, like me, I put my logo on all of my tumblers. So you want to be able to have this so that it doesn't go down too far and it ends up being underneath the tumbler. You never want to put that on the end. So I'd go in, you can choose whatever you want it to be. It can be 0.25, it can be 0.15, it can be 0.2. Because I have an exact template, I'm only going to go 0.15, right? And I'm just going to hit apply. I then turn that line color to green, because green, safe, so that's kind of how I know. That's my safe zone. My blue is my actual template, like my actual tumbler. So that's, I know for sure anything in there is going to be on it. And then the red one is our bleed. All right. I'm going to click on this middle line. I'm going to go to replicate. And there's this option right here that says rotate a copy. How many of you guys who use Silhouette Studio have never used rotate copies? How many people have never used, by show of hands, say me, you've never used rotate copies? There's a lot of tools in the software that will make your life so much easier. You don't always have to take this, make a duplicate, then hold down shift and rotate it. There's a lot of tools make your life so much easier. Okay, so we have some me. Somebody else waving their hands. I haven't. Guys, this is where, little commercial break. I got to do a little commercial break. Because the fact that some of you guys have not used this tool, oh my God, they're still coming. That many of you guys have never used rotate copies. I got to do a commercial break. I got it. You guys are the ones who are going to be perfect. You absolutely, positively need to enroll in Essentials to Silhouette Studio. There's literally, let me tell you how important rotate is, right? There's not one. There's 2 days. You don't know how much time, like design time, you can cut. I mean, cut your design time sometimes in half. Get it done, be able to move on to the next money-making task, okay? Y'all see that? 2 days. Replicate basics and replicate advanced. I take you through it all. And now we're back doing the live classes. We're meeting live every single week to basically go over and review and learn it. You can learn it with me, ask questions for all these. We had the session on Friday. I'm going to put the link for the playback up, and then come Monday, the full schedule will be out. All right. But see, 2 days. If you've never used Replicate, you don't know what you're missing. That means there's probably so many other tools and functions you have never used. And you are hurting yourself because it's a lot of great tools in Silhouette Studio. I bet you most of you guys haven't. Well, when I did the spacing, how many of you guys have ever used space evenly, horizontally or vertically? How many of you guys have ever used that one? All right, so let's go back. We're going to go rotate a copy. Boom. I did not have to put this back centered or anything, right? Normally, it ends up based off of wherever the center mark. Oh, actually, you know what? Did I? Yeah, these are, if as long as I measured these and I had them centered, it's going to be centered already. This is here. If I click here, wait, let's click on this. Look at my white dot. I am centered. I'm centered. I did not have to do anything else. Now, if I want to be on the safe side, I can. I'm going to go through all of these and I'm going to go align center. Okay, move up a little bit, but for the most part, it's spot on. That means that my line here actually isn't centered. So I'm going to select everything and I'm just going to center everything. See, it jumped back down again. There we go. This is your grid. This is your grid. And this is going to let you know where to place things at, even if you have a full background. If you want something right smack dab in the center, when you bring it in, I'm just going to use a star for now. Okay, let's go ahead, convert that to path. Let's add. So if I wanted to make sure it's right in the center, there's white nodes on here. I like Canva. I really, really do. You don't always see those, like you don't get those indicators in that software. Canva's cool, but for certain things and like certain conveniences, it just doesn't. You'll see when I go over there. So if I wanted this right in the center, I'm going to now see this is actually a little bit off. And this is also a great indicator, right? This right here, I didn't quite rotate it. Maybe I should have used this, but the point technically is not the center. If I'm looking at this, my point should be on the center mark. This is why our placement is off sometimes. We're not really looking at the screen, looking at what's there, looking at our indicators. There's a lot of indicators that tells us where center points are and stuff like that. So for this one, if you went and put this right on this line right here, it's actually not centered at all. Now I am going to go and center this because that's going to bug me. So I'm going to put this here. All right. Okay. Now we're completely centered. Okay. And then based off of the height of this, center would be here. That is it being in the center of the tumbler. So if I wanted a picture there, no matter how big, how small, I want it to be bigger, but still remain, centered. I'm going to grab a corner node. I'm going to hold down Alt and it's going to stay. My white squares stays on those center areas. I know that it is centered. I'm going to shrink this back down. So this was inspired, like I said, this was inspired by a question where someone asked, how do I make sure that I have my design centered to where it'll be like back to back? If you were looking at it, you'll have something on one side and something on the other. How do I do that? This is it, right? Because we have all of these indicators. And this is why I also change the colors. So the red ones represent from end to end, that's your center marks. The blue ones in the middle are the centers on the quote unquote front and back of your tumbler. So now you would take this and put it on this side. And if you had something else, you would put it on this side. So if you had something like, let's just do a star and then let's do a name. So we're going to go www.hsink36. Is that 365? 365.com. I'm going to, let's do that one. Huh? Why is my Arial not giving me Arial black, all of those other things? I don't like this. Was that something with this new update? It's not giving me my drop downs for me to get my Arial black. Oh, I think I have found a glitch in this program, because it is definitely not showing me Arial black. Okay, I'm just going to use this one. I'm going to just add it and make it black. I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to place it on the center marks. And then I'm going to shrink it down. Alt. So, because I don't want to go outside of my safe zone. So, I mean, I could go right there to my safe zone and I know that it's going to fully print. So I can go there. But now when I'm looking at it, like back to back, technically this text and this star would be back to back. They would be even from the seam and like the open side right here, because this is centered. This is centered. Okay. So that's how you would use your grid. Now, as far as filling it in, if you have like a full-on pattern or something, now designing it, we're not getting into that. I'm just showing you how to set up the grid so that you know placement. Designing is something different, because then it's like filling in backgrounds, doing text, cropping items, bringing in PNGs. Do I trace and detach? There's a lot more to that, but this is going to be a great starting point for a lot of people who want to know placement. Like I said, even if I were to put a background to this, let's do, I know a lot of people are doing like Valentine's Day stuff. I don't remember exactly which site these came from. Well, that one I think is Christmas. I don't remember what site I got these from, but hey, there's a background. So now if I want to be able to go and add other things, I still see my grid. This is also the reason why I did not put my grid right inside the box. Another reason why I love Silhouette Studio. If you do it in Photoshop and you want it to be like the exact size, you're not going to see that like upper part. If you do it in Canva, same thing. Like you have to make your design page a little bit bigger. Silhouette Studio allows you to have free range of designing separate from like your design page. You don't have to put it on that design page until you are ready to print. So all of this area, if I zoom out, all of that gray area is open for design. Normally, I'm designing all over that place. I never, ever, ever design in the confines of the design page size. I do that after the fact. So I'll be able to do this. I'm going to go ahead and just change the color on this. Let's put a little offset on it. Oops, no. All right, I'm going to remove my color. I actually might even make this white. Put a little shadow on it. Make that black. Bam. All right, so I have that there. Whatever I was going to put here, you know, you can go and arrange it and design it. Now, I'm going to go ahead, make sure that I group together all of my lines, as well as my line on the end, which I actually forgot to make. I forgot to make this longer. And then here, we're going to group it. And I'm going to just make a duplicate of this because I forgot to show you how to save this template. So I'm going to do that afterwards. I'm just going to click on this part. Well, let's see. Okay, so I'm going to click on this part here. I'm going to move it. I'm not worried about all those other lines. They will not print. Once I've removed that, I'm going to group it. And my design, my design page will be set to the size paper I print, 8.15 by 8.5 by 11. I'm going to rotate this. So we can go to the rotate. We can go to transform, rotate 90 degrees. I'm going to place it on my design page, and then I'm going to go ahead and print. Okay, so that's how that will be done. But I forgot to show you how to save this. That way you don't have to do this every single time. All right. So once we go, and I'm going to move all of this, we're going to go back to all right. So once you have this set up, all right, so at 40 minutes, let's say I'm going to wait 41 minutes is going to be how to save the template. So I'm going to wait for 41 minutes. 41 minutes, how to save the template. You have it all set up. You're going to take the blue line, because I did mine blue. So that's the true Tumbler size. Hold down Shift and select the safe zone. And we're going to group those together. Okay. Because you don't design in that part. It's just an indicator. You're going to fill a background in to this part. Okay. So you want to group those together. You want to make sure that your grid lines are also grouped together. And then you're just going to save it. Now you can choose to bring it closer to your design page. If you want to put it right above, that's totally up to you. We're going to go, and you can save this to your library, but I also recommend saving it to your hard drive. So I'm just going to copy this, paste in front. So you would go File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive, and you're going to title that, whatever it is. I actually already have mine saved because it's on our website. You can actually purchase this right now on our website if you don't want to make it yourself for the 20 ounce. And you either have it as a reference point for the 20 ounce so that you can design for everything else. If you want to try and take that and manipulate it for the size tumbler that you have, hey, that part is up to you. But you want to go ahead and save it. I also recommend saving it to your library. So you're going to go File, Save As, Save to Library, and you're going to title this. I like to put the exact size, so 9.35 by 8.15, 20 ounce tumbler wrap placement. Yes, I do long titles. Placement template. I'm typing with one hand. And then we're just going to hit OK. I actually have one up there already. Probably saw my 20 ounce and my 30 ounce. This is what I normally do. So now you have it, right? Next time you go and you're working on one, you just open it up and you're going to go to your library. Cancel. So that was my regular 20. I'm going to go to this one and we're just going to double click it. Boom, it opened up. And now you can begin designing. That way you keep that where it's never going to like have something in it. It's always a fresh, we can start fresh. And then of course, if the one that you save to your computer or your cloud drive or your jump drive, you're just going to go File, Open, and it will be a new blank canvas ready for you to design it. But that's how you would design it in Silhouette Studio. If you have Business Edition, you can save this as a PNG, a JPEG, or even a PDF to be able to use in other programs. I recommend the PDF because Canva and Photoshop can open up PDFs. If you save it as a JPEG or a PNG, it will have it'll go all the way to the end. If you do it as a PDF, it's only going to have what's in the middle. But if you want to save it to be able to take into other programs, because it might be easier to set the template up in Silhouette Studio and then bring it over to other platforms. because it's really, really simple to do here. So I'm going to make my design page size, the size of my Tumbler template, 9.35 by, and that was, 44 and a half minutes on how to save it as a PNG or a PDF. So 9.35 by 8.15. Okay. I'm going to make sure that everything is grouped together, and I'm going to go center to page, and then I'm just going to tab it. I'm going to move it over some. All right. And then we're just going to go file, save as, save to hard drive. And you're going to go to the drop down, save it as a portable document format, which is a PDF, or save it as a PNG or a JPEG. Or if you want to be able to have it for, who done people? Oh, you can't really print a full one from Cricut anyway. This would be pointless for a Cricut because you can't print a full 20-ounce tumbler wrap from Cricut anyway. So I wouldn't even worry about saving this as an SVG. I have it just saved as a PDF, PNG, and then a silhouette file. Again, that file is on our website if you'd rather. Hey, thanks, Shakia, for the tutorial, but I rather easy. It's $5.63 on the website right now. The link is in the description if you decide you want to go purchase it. But I am giving you all the tools on how to design this yourself. So you would save it. Now we're going to go over to Canva. So about 47 minutes, we're going to start the Canva tutorial to be able to do the same thing. All right, did I miss any questions? No, not over here. Good evening, everyone. So somehow I missed the beginning of this live because I was on your site trying to figure out how to join your beginner class. So that would be Essentials to Silhouette Studio, Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. I don't think I put it on this particular live video because I was trying to hurry up and get started because I got to hurry up and get home before the Dolphin game come on. All right. So in Canva, right? So 47 minutes, Canva. We're going to go to Create Design. You're going to come down. Oh, this is why Canva was down yesterday or the other day. They don't changed up some stuff. Okay, it makes sense. Let me tell you, I was so upset because I was stressing out. I had a brochure to finish and I decided to use Canva because I want to be able to show you guys what you can do in Canva. I just like to teach and a lot of people are using Canva. So I was like, I got to get out of my comfort zone. I don't want to do it in Silhouette. Although I did start it in Silhouette Studio. I got the concept, everything that I wanted down in Silhouette Studio. And then I just went over to Canva to finalize everything and be able to fill with backgrounds and stuff from there. But story for another day. Anywho, this is why it's different or why I was doing that. So now tutorial for Canva starts at 48 minutes. We're going to go to customize size. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Catherine. Oh my God. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. First thing you want to do is go over to pixels. Where it says pixels, PX for pixels. You have to change that to inches first. So you're going to go change it to inches. Whatever your template size end up being when you added your extra 0.1 or 0.15, or somebody said they add 0.1 all the way around. If that's what you do, that's what you do. You're going to come over here and you're going to put in 9.35 by 8.15 because that's what I use. And I'm going to go create design. Okay. Then we're going to go over to elements. I'm going to go to line. I'm going to grab a dash line because I like, using dash lines. And I'm going to extend this out. So I'm going to hold down Alt and then drag it out. It doesn't matter if it goes past. Just make sure that you don't turn it. Oh, wait, shoot. Did it? Or is it shift on here? Hold on. Wait, undo. Let's go. See if I go, you know what? Let's go Alt and Shift. Let's see if it works like other programs. Okay, yeah. I'm going to hold down Alt and Shift to make sure that it doesn't move and it goes out straight. Okay. Then we're going to hit the plus sign and we're going to duplicate that. And then we're going to, I forget, do they have one on here to rotate theirs? I always forget when it comes to these. I don't know if it rotates, but I'm just going to do it with this one right here. We're going to click on that and rotate. I say rotate 90 degrees, -90. Okay. You're going to take this and pull it over right to the edge. And you're going to click on it again. And you're going to do another one and take that over here to that edge. And then now we're going to do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Select them all. Right click. Space evenly. Horizontally. Oh, wait. Scratch that. I messed that up. I forgot to account for our 0.1. So, I like to kind of take a box, right? And whatever the measurement was, so it's supposed to be 9.25. I'm just going to come up to position. Under position, we're going to come to where it says advanced and our width. I'm not worried about the height. I'm going to just go with 9.25. And I'm going to move this black line to the edge of here. Okay. I can delete that. Now, everything up here. Now we're going to select it and we're going to go space evenly again. So select here, space evenly, and boom. I now have my grids. You can go in and you can change the color. I would recommend, now you don't have your save zone. You can somewhat do it, but the way Canva is, it's not going to really help, but you can have those indicators. I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to go back to elements. I'm going to go shape. I'm going to pull in the square and you're going to go to position, 9.35 by 8.1. Actually, no, I'm doing the wrong one. It's supposed to be 9.25 by 8. And pull that right to the end and center to where you have even spacing. And this is why I said it's not really, well, we're going to do the no color and then you can do like the line or whatever. Oh, wait a minute. I forgot to do my line. I thought I clicked on it to do the line. It's going to be, I always forget. I don't always use Canva. How to add the line color. Oh, duh. Click on it and then the line comes up. And then you can make that whatever color you want that to be. And then I recommend duplicating that. Okay. Moving it to match it. And so that you have your safe zone, you're going to hold down Alt and Shift and bring that in some. And that becomes your safe zone. So when you're putting all of your other elements and stuff like that, and you have to use the layers like to keep it on top and all that stuff, but you'll be able to bring in stuff, put your backgrounds. If you want to add a graphic, if it's in the middle, if it's on the side. So you have those same grids. And that's you making that in Canva yourself. Or you can bring in the file that you made in Solar Studio if you have Business Edition and you saved it as a as a PDF or JPEG. So I'm just going to delete all of this. And I already have mine. I'm going to go to projects. I'm going to click on actually, let me see, upload. That should be under projects. There it is. And there's my grid. So it's one to where it's just solid and it's flat. And I won't take the chance of moving things around. So with the Canva one, by you setting it all up in there, you can group it, but even then you can probably end up moving things around. So if you just want the grid itself and you can easily turn that off. You can click on one thing and like remove it. You can do this because you're still going to see where to align things. Your center is going to pick up no matter what. It's just not going to give you guidelines for all of these other dash points, but you can kind of guesstimate. And this is what I was saying, where you don't get the center marks here. Now, if I zoom in, let's see. Nope, I'm still not getting them. Select Studio has little squares, in the middle, and you know exactly where the middle is. You're not going to get that on this. So you just kind of have to eyeball it and guesstimate where it needs to be. All right. How did I add the grid? I already designed it and I saved it. I saved it as a PDF. So I went over to uploads. When I first put it in here, I went to uploads, upload the file, and I added the PDF. The PDF ends up under projects. I click on that and it just fills it in. Now I did show, if you wanted to do the grid yourself, you'll have to go back to like my YouTube channel and watch the playback of it. But I did show how to create your own version of your grid. I just deleted it. This is one that I made in Select Studio and I just brought over. So you can go and, like I said, use this and design it, put it on the other side, use it in the middle, and it's just placement. This is just for placement. If I put a background on this, it would still be where I would go like this. I'm going to go to position, but then I got to go to layers. I'm going to put this on top. Oh, that's the wrong one. I have one that is transparent. That's the wrong one, because then you won't be able to see through it. But you have your background one. This is a bad one. Where is my one where it's transparent? But you get the idea. You can use it to align, or when it comes to your background, you can push your background to the back, leave everything else like on top, and then take this, pull it to the bottom so that on your background, it is actually centered. Canva has grids, it has grids, but it wouldn't be set up for tumblers already. So with this one, I actually set up, so it's not like a regular grid. It is a Tumbler placement template that we created. All right. And I don't like to do it in Photoshop. Photoshop, I just bring in the PDF or the PNG. It's not the same. To me, it's not as easy like with the other ones, because when you're making the line, you either have to make it a shape, and it's just, to me, a little bit more complicated, unless you know exactly where you're going to put those. Because you can use, of course, your guidelines and use those, but you have to know exactly where to put them at. I either do the math and know where to put the guidelines at. So I just use the one that I use in Select Studio if I'm ever designing something in Photoshop. Now, if you exclusively use Photoshop, I'm not going over how to create the template like I did for Select Studio and Canva. But for Photoshop, if you have it, you're just going to bring it in. You can utilize your grids. You can go and save this so that, you can always bring it up. So save it as a Photoshop file. And that way you open up that Photoshop file, then you retitle it to something else, and then you begin designing, because you can always turn that layer on and off to see where things go. All right. So that's kind of how I do that in Photoshop. Thank you so much for always being so detailed in your teaching. No problem. Any questions? Any questions for me? I think I probably tapped on everything, but just in case, are there any questions? Because this tutorial did come from a question that was in a group. They were like, hey, how do I do this? I don't want a full wrap. I just want to know, I want to be able to have it and not have to cut the pieces small. If you do them separate, right? You don't have a full wrap. A lot of people will try and save space, and they will, just put the small elements, cut around them, but then you have to put so much tape. If you're using an oven, if you're using a tumbler press, you can save on paper, kind of go place it, may or may not be exactly, centered or back to back, but you can do it that way. Put a little piece of tape, and then you can press it with your tumbler press. But with the guide, the placement guide, you go and you do that. It's like having a full-on template, and you print that out. You can cut it down and then wrap the whole tumbler, like And that way, you know for sure it is going to line up. Oh, speaking of which, if it's all white, duh, it's not going to show. So if you're doing all white, remember there is a bleed. So I recommend for your outside line, I'm going to ungroup. I'm not going to leave that as red. I'm going to make that a gray line. And you want to add a little bit of weight. So I'm going to add 0.5 as far as weight. That way it prints and I know where to cut my paper. Because if it's just white, you know, you can end up cutting the paper uneven. So make sure you do that and then just cut out, make sure all the gray is cut out and it should still wrap. And you would only need to use a few pieces of tape. If there's nothing on the seam, you don't have to tape the seam. You just need to make sure that it's tight. Actually, no, I will still recommend taping the seams just to make sure that it's fully tight. And then just put it in your oven or put it in your press. But you don't have to worry too much about that ghosting because, of course, there's normally no color there. Thank you for sharing. We are about to wrap up, but I thank you so much for sharing the video on TikTok. Last call for questions. Damn it, I can't believe that still took an hour. I really thought I was going to be done in less than an hour. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm a little too detailed. I thought it would be done less. Some people want to just kind of get to the nitty gritty. I know. But hopefully this is helpful for those who like details and need to know a little bit of the backstory before you do the grid to make sure that you are doing it properly. Okay. So I don't see any questions on the floor. I thank you guys so very much for joining me today. Remember that there is a grid. Like if you don't want to do it yourself, you can definitely go to our website. The 20-ounce tumbler template is there on our website. I got to do the picture because I was trying to do this, but it is on the website. If you rather just kind of look, I'm going to get that one. I'll adjust it as needed. It is there. It's $5.63. Although I showed this for a 20-ounce tumbler, you would take the same principles, the same concepts, and apply it to whatever you are doing. If you are doing a mug and your mug measures 10 inches by 4, you're going to make that grid 10 by 4. Plus, of course, for the mug, you don't need extra except for the height. So you would make that, but then you would do your lines. You would evenly space them. If you're doing a 30 ounce and it is, I don't know how big a 30 ounce is, whatever it is, just add on 0.1 for the width, 0.15 for the height, or however you want to add it on, make that grid and then go through these steps to do the spacing, because I won't have a template for all different types of drinkware because I don't sublimate them. I don't choose to try and use every type of drinkware there is. I like 20 ounces. I like mugs. I've never done a 40. I think I have a 30 here that I've never actually sublimated. So I would not be able to give you a tutorial for those specific types of drinkware. If you run into any issues while you're trying to do it for a different size item or blank, leave a comment on the video and I'll do my best to try and help guide you through it. Or, you can always join some of the class and join the Zoom sessions. We have regular sessions. We also have study hall sessions every single week for the next 12 weeks. And that is our Essential Silhouette Studio, Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 Days program. So who is that? Right here. So all of my classes really are beginner friendly. Like it's different things like designs and stuff like that that we did a few years back. The design challenges really are like, those are really beginner friendly just to kind of get your toe wet in designing. This right here is Silhouette for Beginners. And then any of the design challenges, it might seem like a lot, but those are like the most basic things, using the basic tools like subtract and crop and things like that. So check out the design challenges. They are beginner friendly as well. Okay. Until next time, guys, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity, be incredible. And also make sure that you guys share this with a crafty friend. I know y'all see these questions. I'm going to change the thumbnail out pretty soon, probably tomorrow sometimes. But when you see your crafty friend struggling, Kathy helped, Miss Catherine helped us with the timestamps. I'm going to add them to it so they can jump to certain parts. But this is one of the, if you don't share anything else, if you have Tumbler crafty friends or you're in a group and someone posts a question, this would be the best reference video. I don't think they would find anything more comprehensive than this demonstration in this class. All right. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Peace.